Turning to news in the state of West Virginia, Governor Patrick Morrisey announced new plans today to bring West Virginia children in foster care back home from out-of-state facilities. The governor says about 380 children are currently placed outside West Virginia at an average cost of $156,000 per child annually. Morrisey wants lawmakers to approve a revolving fund to renovate state-owned facilities. The plan would reinvest savings from reduced out-of-state placements back into expanding in-state capacity. The governor also highlighted progress in the child welfare system, including a 50% reduction in the CPS backlog and a 37% drop in substance abuse-related removals. Morrisey said continuing and improving upon that progress is important for both his office and the legislature.
We need to bring our kids home. And we want to keep our kids close to our families and to our communities whenever it's safe to do so, right? This has to be a goal of our administration and the legislature. I think it is. We owe it to our kids to fix the many deficiencies within the CPS system.
Morrisey says the administration has completed 1,100 adoptions this year, one of the highest totals on record. He says more child welfare initiatives will be announced before the legislative session begins.